Long ago, deep within a vibrant forest, there lived a snake unlike any other. Its scales were as dark as the night, and its eyes glowed like embers in the shadows. The villagers who lived near the forest feared this snake, for it was known to be fierce and deadly. Many whispered tales of how the snake would strike at anyone or anything that ventured too close, its venom swift and lethal. But the snake was not always this way. Once, it had known only how to protect itself, striking out in fear and anger. Over time, this life of isolation and hostility weighed heavily on the snake's heart. It grew lonely, its soul burdened with bitterness. Yet it knew no other way to live, for it had never experienced kindness or compassion. One day, the snake heard tales of a wise and compassionate teacher named Gautama Buddha. The animals of the forest spoke of how Buddha's teachings had transformed many lives, bringing peace and understanding where there had been only darkness. Desperate for change, the snake decided to seek out the Buddha. As the Buddha and his disciples rested beneath a large banyan tree, the snake approached, its head lowered in submission. The disciples, seeing the snake, were alarmed, but the Buddha, sensing the snake's true intentions, calmed them with a gesture. The snake, its voice soft and filled with hope, spoke to Buddha. "Buddha, I have heard of your wisdom and kindness. I am tired of living a life filled with hatred and fear. I have no friends, and I am shunned by all. Please teach me how to change my ways." The Buddha, with deep compassion in his eyes, replied, "My friend, your suffering comes not from the outside world, but from within. You have lived a life driven by fear and aggression, and this has isolated you from others. If you wish to change, you must first change your heart. Let go of your anger and your need to harm others. Live peacefully, and you will find that the world responds to you with peace." The snake, moved by Buddha's words, vowed to change. From that day on, it no longer struck out in anger or fear. It avoided harming any living being, watching as villagers and animals passed by without a single hostile thought. As time passed, the villagers noticed that the feared snake was no longer a threat. They began to venture deeper into the forest, no longer afraid of encountering the deadly serpent. Children, once warned to stay away, now played freely among the trees. But this peace did not last. Some villagers, seeing that the snake no longer posed a danger, began to take advantage of its gentleness. They threw stones at it, poked it with sticks, and tormented it for their own amusement. The snake, remembering Buddha's teachings, endured this torment without retaliation, believing it was following the path of enlightenment. However, the snake grew weaker and weaker, its once glossy scales now dull and battered. Confused and desperate, it sought out the Buddha once more. When it found him, it spoke with a voice filled with pain. "Buddha, I did as you instructed. I stopped harming others and tried to live peacefully. But now I am suffering more than ever. The villagers torment me, knowing I will not fight back. What should I do?" The Buddha, his voice gentle yet firm, replied, "My dear friend, I taught you not to harm others, but I did not teach you to allow others to harm you. There is a difference between living peacefully and becoming a victim of abuse. You must protect yourself, but do so without malice or anger. If someone threatens you, hiss loudly to warn them, but do not bite unless you are in true danger. This way you can live in harmony without allowing yourself to be harmed." The snake, enlightened by Buddha's words, returned to the forest with renewed strength and wisdom. The next time the villagers came to torment it, the snake raised its head high and hissed loudly, its eyes glowing fiercely. Startled, the villagers quickly backed away, realizing the snake was not to be trifled with. From that day on, the villagers left the snake in peace, no longer daring to provoke it. The snake, however, did not return to its old ways. It continued to live peacefully, hissing only when necessary to protect itself, and never biting without just cause. And so, the snake lived out its days in the forest, no longer feared, but respected for its wisdom and strength. It had learned the delicate balance between compassion and self-preservation, a lesson that served it well for the rest of its life. Thanks for listening to the story. Hope you liked